Kamala Harris has a serious messaging problem. To date, all she's been doing is regurgitating Tim Walz campaign slogans from his time running for governor of Minnesota. They're not new and original ideas. Don't believe me? Let's take a look.
Leave to families.
So we can keep moving forward.
As one people, we are moving forward.
Sure, you pitch in to ensure that we continue to move forward as one Minnesota.
While we move and fight to move our nation forward.
To families, so we can keep moving forward.
Because that's how we move Minnesota forward.
Let's move forward together as one Minnesota.
Donald Trump and his extremist allies intend to take our nation backward.
Donald Trump has betrayed our values, but the fight back starts here, and I've never been one to just stand on the sideline. I'm Tim Walz, and together we can build a Minnesota where everybody gets a fair shot.
One of your campaign themes is we're not going back.
Attempt to take us backward, but we're not going back.
And I won't let Donald Trump take us backwards.
Total is to pull our country back to the past.
I'm Tim Walz. As a teacher and dad, I've seen the difference education makes, and I won't let Tim Pawlenty take us back.
But America, we are not going back. But we are not going back. And take us back to when we are not going back.
One Minnesota for all of us.
With one voice, as one people.
Let's keep building one Minnesota together.
Through things like cutting red tape.
Now, by cutting red tape and helping us expand our business, Governor Walz is still looking out for us.
Includes also what we must do to cut red tape, reduce the red tape.
Called Walz checks, $1,000 for single filers who earn less than $75,000 a year, and $2,000 for households that make less than $150,000.
That might be the difference between housing for you, because it could be first and last month rent.
Who benefit from the work that's happening here.
Right now, the Minnesota Department of Agriculture is offering $15,000 for farmers to buy their first farm.
$25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyer. Doing the work of a $6,000 child tax credit. Doing the work of a $50,000 tax deduction for first-time small businesses, startups.
It could be the things you need to do for your children. It could be a vacation if that's where you're at and your family needs that.
To take a nice vacation from time to time, right?
After seeing and hearing that, I have to ask myself repeatedly, what would be next? Well, we're dealing with a natural disaster, and Tim Walz just finished dealing with floods in Minnesota. I have a few predictions, and I almost wonder if we're going to have a peacetime state of emergency.
A peacetime state of emergency will allow the state of Minnesota to respond more rapidly as issues evolve. I would ask you all to think of this as opening the toolbox. We're not taking a tool out of it as of today.
Here's my predictions. Take a look at them. Let's see if any of them come true.
That we start thinking about that transition, to start people seeing what comes next, the rebuilding piece of this.
Anybody hurt or injured in the actual incident, now we need to be really careful. They're careful of working around a lot of heavy equipment. They have lost precious keepsakes from their children when they were in kindergarten.
I would ask you all to think of this as opening the toolbox. We're not taking a tool out of it as of today.
Make sure that we're focusing, make sure that folks continue to look out for their neighbors, especially as we start thinking about recovery.
Doing everything you can to think about them for as long as it takes to make sure that they are able to recover and rebuild.
Only time will tell.